Hello everyone, welcome to our tutorial today with the Putnam County District Library. I'm Addie and today I'm going to cover some tips and tricks to take better advantage of your Apple Calendar on your iPhone or iPad. I'll be honest, I only started using my calendar app within the last year or so. I had tried using it sporadically a bit before, usually when I was out and in a hurry and I just wanted to jot down a future event so I wouldn't forget about it. But I really didn't like the way the app displayed the events. It felt very clunky and not user-friendly at all. Then I was messing around with it one day and I realized that I could change the display of the app, and that improved usability for me in a big way. I use it for all my appointments and events now. It was a simple change, but it's made a huge difference for me at least. So I thought I'd share this and some of my other discoveries with you, and perhaps you'll learn something new about the Apple Calendar or find it more useful after watching. So let's get started. So to begin, let's talk about how the app displayed events before and the option I discovered to modify it to my needs. As I mentioned, this was a game changer for me. Here we go. So how is the app preset to work? You have to click into a date to see that day's events. So for example, there's a red circle around today, August 13th. You can see that red circle, obviously about halfway through the month there's a red circle on today. If I click on that red circle, which I will do now, if I click on that red circle, I can then see the hourly schedule, but only for the day I've clicked on. Then I have to click back out of that date to see the whole calendar again. So to do that, it's in the top left corner. You can see the word August, and then there's a backward facing arrow. That's what you have to click on, that back arrow, to get you back into seeing the whole calendar again. So let's look at another example. Let's click on Thursday, August 10th and see the hourly schedule for that day. So I can scroll through the day. Obviously it starts with 12 a.m. and scrolls down to get further into the day, so you can see my events that I had for Thursday, August 10th there. Now you can see that near the top of the app screen, other nearby dates are there, and you can click on another day near the date you're in to see that day's events. So for example, we're in Thursday, August 10th, so you can see there's the list of dates across the top going from left to right. So there's a black circle around the day we're clicked on, which is August 10th. So I could click on the Wednesday, August 9th and see those events, or I could click on Friday, August 11th and see those events. But overall, this calendar view is not intuitive for me personally. It's a lot of steps, and it's not very easy even to see what you have happening all in one day. Let's go back to that August 10th so we can see. I have to scroll and kind of do a lot of work just to see what I have during that day. You have to scroll pretty heavily to make sure you're not missing an event earlier in the day or later in the evening. That's my personal opinion, of course, but there you have it. Some people may like the calendar view this way, and that's their choice. If you look near the top right of the screen, you'll see three icons: a plus sign, a magnifying glass, and a bulleted list. If you click on the bulleted list icon, it will then display your events without a calendar, just as a chronological list. So I'm going to click on that bulleted list. It's the third in to the left. So there you can see it's just a chronological list of your events without the calendar view. This also isn't the mode for me, but some people may prefer to see their events laid out this way. If you want to turn that list form back off, you just click on the three bulleted lines again. It should have a red box around it when it's turned on or activated, and it should when I tap it to turn it off. There's no red box around the bulleted list. That sends you back into the original calendar mode. Then we can hit August at the top left, and it brings you back to the preset full calendar view. So that's how the calendar app presents itself when you first open it up and start using it. I'm now going to show you how to modify the calendar view to the way that I prefer it to be. So we're going to look again at the top right corner of the app screen. You're going to see those same three icons: a plus sign, a magnifying glass, and the box with the bullets underneath. So when we are in this full calendar view, now we're going to click on the box with bullets. I've just clicked on it. This format allows you to see a day's events more quickly. We'll scroll back into August. Here we go. And it allows you to see the date, time, and activity planned all at once with zero scrolling or clicking in and back out again. So for example, I don't have anything listed today for events, but if I click back again on that Thursday the 10th that we were looking at earlier, you can see the events for that Thursday all laid out. So I can see what day it is up in the calendar view up at the top, and down at the bottom half of the screen, I can see what the events are. And to the right, I can see what time they are scheduled at. So I have found this to be the most convenient and quickest format in using the calendar app. I like to be able to jump quickly between days and see what I have on each day and what time without clicking into the day and then scrolling to look at the times and then back out again to see a different day. If you decide you prefer a different calendar view, you can simply click that box with the bullets underneath, which is red while it's activated, and it will go back to the preset view we started with. So if I click on that bulleted list again, I take the red box off of it and we're back to the original view. Whichever format you choose, if you're looking at the calendar view, you can see that some days have little gray circles underneath the date. This indicates that there is some kind of activity or event saved on that day. So as I just mentioned, today is the 13th. The red circle is around the 13th. There's no little gray box because I don't have any events scheduled for today. You already saw that. But there is a little gray box underneath August 10th, that Thursday we've been talking about. And there are my events, and there is that little gray box underneath the number 10. So the little gray box indicates that yes, you do have something saved in your calendar for that day. Next up, we're going to discuss the button at the bottom left of the screen called Today. Here we go. So clicking on that button Today down in the bottom left corner of the screen does just that. It quickly jumps you to whatever the current day is. I think this is helpful if you're putting something in your calendar in the very distant future and you don't want to scroll back through the months. Or if you're not sure which day it is and you don't want to look for that red circle everywhere in here. So if you're not sure what today is, hitting today once will show you the events for whatever day you're on. So I will scroll, let's scroll far into the future. We'll go into October. That's not super far into the future, but we'll go in the future. And then I'm, fiddling around with October. I'm adding something into my calendar for October. And then I'm going to click on that Today button in the bottom left. And it's quickly jumped us back to August, and the red circle is on the 13th again. Something to take note of. When you're viewing a day other than today, there's no red circle. So for example, if I click on tomorrow, but let me go back. I got to go back into the view I like. There we go. So if I jump to, if I click on the 14th, tomorrow, or the 16th, Wednesday, you can see the date I've clicked on has a black circle. So when you click on today, you get a red circle. When you click on another day besides today, you get a black circle. So this is where the Today button can come in handy because it can be hard to find today's date back again. So let's just do another just because it's kind of fun. We'll just scroll forward all the way into February of next year. Okay, I'm fiddling around. I'm putting a date in here, an event in here, and then I want to quickly jump back to today. I just click on that bottom left button Today, and it jumps us right back to August, and the red circle is around the 13th. Our next topic is the search feature. The search icon lives at the top right corner of the screen in the calendar app. It's the middle icon, the magnifying glass. Let's get started looking at the search feature. So as I just mentioned, the search feature is the icon up at the top right corner, and it's the one in the middle, which is a magnifying glass. So I'm going to turn, there we go. So we're going to look at the magnifying glass. This is pretty straightforward. If you're searching for a particular event, you can search through your entire calendar for it. Just remember, it'll search for whatever you have put in, aka the information you've given it when you created the event. It will search future and past events, which can be very helpful if you're trying to remember when you did something. So just as an example, I'm going to click on the magnifying glass icon to do a search, and I'm going to type in haircut. As I'm typing, it is already trying to guess what I'm going to say. So I have searched for haircut and it is showing me days in the past. It is also showing me events scheduled into the future whenever I have entered in haircut. So then if I want to say the next one I have scheduled is Wednesday, September 20th. So I can see that it is, I clicked into it. I can see that it is scheduled on the right there. It says 9:45 to 10:45. So I can see what I have scheduled for the future and what I have also had scheduled in the past. So that is the search feature with the magnifying glass at the top right. We'll also cover adding an event to your calendar, just in case some folks out there are unsure about how to do that process, but want to start using their calendar app. So it is the last icon at the top right, the only one we haven't talked about yet, which is the plus sign. So we're going to practice adding an event to your calendar. So pressing that plus sign in the top right corner allows you to create a new event. So I'm going to press on that plus sign at the top right. It asks for a title of your event, and you can also add a location if you'd like to. Take note that the title is what you will see when you look at the overall calendar view. So there is also a place to add notes down at the bottom. We'll talk about that here in a second. But remember that you won't see the notes unless you click into the event. So for example, if there's pertinent information, sometimes I'll add that right into the title of my event, so I'm sure I see it again right away. Like a specific flower order, if someone wants to order, I'll put their name and then I'll put a dash and then the number of bouquets they want, or I'll add someone's name that's related to the event that I want to remember quickly. So, for example, we'll say Eduardo, 2 bouquets. So what I've just written there in the title is what I will see when that event shows up in my calendar view. You'll see what I mean. So we'll just put it today at, I'm not going to add a location. I'm not going to worry about that. But I will add today's date, and I'll just click on where it says 1 p.m. and I'll move it to 2 p.m. So it starts at 2 p.m. and it ends at 3 o'clock. So if I click into it, you can see that I also can set up a repeat feature. Once I add the day, the time in there, the date and the time. That's really convenient if you have something you do every week or every month, you can just set it up to repeat. You can also add an alert, which is, how far in advance do you want to be reminded that this is happening? So you could say you don't want an alert. You could get an alert up to a week beforehand. And it looks like you can do a second alert as well if you want to. And then if you scroll all the way to the bottom, that's where you can add your notes. So if you have any other information that you want to include to remind yourself about this event, that's where you would put those little details. So when you're done editing your calendar details, you would want to hit add. I've already actually added this one just by, here we'll do this. I'll just change the time to 1:55. Click done, and then it will save it for you. So today, now you can see the red circle is around the 13th, so we know that's today. And there's my title underneath, Eduardo-2 bouquets and the time. So my title is all that you see. If I had added notes, when I click on the event to open it up, my notes would show up here. Just something to keep in mind about your notes. Okay, that is everything we're going to cover today. Hopefully there was something new or interesting in there about the calendar app. Thank you so much for watching.